Interesting facts about wild boars. The boar is the largest animal in its family. It was he who was once tamed by our ancestors and became the progenitor of numerous breeds of domestic pigs. Wild boars live in areas with a constant source of water and dense vegetation that provides them with shelter from predators. They thrive in a variety of climates, but generally avoid cold and hot areas. In areas with severe winters and increased snowfall, population densities may be limited due to scarce food sources. Deep snow and frozen ground limit the ability of wild boars to gather roots and foliage. The boar has a stocky, powerful body with a double layer of fur. The upper layer is hard and prickly, the lower layer is much softer. Coat color varies from black and brownish red to white. Depending on the geographic location, they may have a variegated or solid coat color. They may also grow long, bristly hair down the middle of their backs. At birth, young boars are lighter in color with yellowish-brown dorsal stripes that disappear after about 4 months, leaving an even coloration. The length of wild boars is from 150 to 175 centimeters, the height at the shoulders is up to 90 centimeters, and the weight of adults is from 66 to 200 kilograms. Their tails grow in length from 21 to 38 centimeters, and their ears, from 24 to 26 centimeters. Females are smaller than males, and the difference in size becomes more obvious with age. These omnivorous mammals consume almost any plant and animal food they can find. The majority of their diet consists of roots, bulbs, seeds, grains, fruits, nuts, and green plants. Boars also consume bird eggs, carrion, small rodents, insects, earthworms and other invertebrates. They also hunt livestock, including calves and lambs. Boars adjust their diet according to the season, weather conditions and location. They tend to forage for food late in the evening and at night. On average, a wild boar's home range measures between 1.1 and 3.9 square kilometers. Size depends on several factors, including population density, availability of food resources, geographic coverage, and predation threats. Males, after reaching maturity, lead a solitary lifestyle for most of the year. They tolerate range overlap with other males, but during the mating season, boars become more territorial as they prepare to fight for mating rights. Females exhibit social behavior by forming so-called sounders, organized groups of 6 to 30 closely related individuals. Sometimes in such groups there are more than 100 individuals. Females occupy a smaller territory than males and keep enclosed areas within their home range to protect themselves and their young. 2 or more groups can sometimes share the same territory without mixing with each other. In the warm season, they are inactive during the day. On sunny days, wild boars stay in the shade or lie near water sources to keep cool. Water and mud protect them from insects and help remove ectoparasites. Depending on the habitat, wild boars can lead an active lifestyle during the day. In this case, they try to avoid open areas, which can make them more vulnerable to predators. Wild boars come out to open places in search of food only in the evening and at night. Each male defends his mating rights with his fangs. The winning male chases the estrus females, urging them to show interest. If a female is interested in mating, she should urinate in return. If she doesn't, the male usually refuses to mate after a few minutes. Boars are ready for breeding at any time of the year. But the mating season depends on the climate, which directly affects the availability of food. If the nutritional needs of females are not met, the reproductive instinct may be suppressed. Females become reproductively mature at about 10 to 12 months of age, and males at about 2 years of age. Sows are prolific and can produce up to 2 litters per year. The estrus cycle usually lasts 21 to 23 days. The gestation period of a sow is 108 to 120 days. When the sows are preparing to give birth, they temporarily leave the echo sounder and return with their calves after farrowing. The young are born in a nest made of leaves, grass and moss. Males do not show parental care as they are polygynous and live alone. Yes, and in females of this species, things are worse with maternal care than in sheep, goats and cattle. Each litter has an average of 4 to 6 piglets. In spring, there can be up to 10 piglets in a litter. Newborns weigh from 0.4 to 0.8 kilograms. For the first 2 weeks, the female is almost constantly with her cubs. At about 2 months of age, piglets begin to leave the nest for food. Piglets have a high mortality rate. At birth, piglets have very little fat and a minimal amount of energy. By producing more young, females increase the chances of some offspring surviving. Sows with large litters have been known to accidentally crush their offspring. However, research suggests that this may be a targeted action to increase the chances of survival for the rest of the litter. The reduced competition between piglets for feeding is a result of the smaller litter size. Weaker piglets may try to feed several times before being beaten by other young and simply die of malnutrition. Females that farrow around the same time may allow piglets from a different litter to suckle. However, more often sows refuse other people's piglets. Boars have an excellent sense of smell. Their eyes are located on the sides of their heads, which gives them good peripheral vision. But the boar is not able to distinguish colors and cannot see objects standing 15 meters away from him. Therefore, they mainly rely on a well-developed sense of smell and hearing. Sows are able to distinguish their piglets from other litters by smell just 24 hours after birth. Their long, flat muzzles allow them to sharpen their sense of smell. However, in search of food, wild boars try to keep their muzzle near the ground, which dulls their sense of smell, and cannot react in time to the approaching danger. Domestication of wild boars began 10,000 years ago. Wild boars are widely distributed throughout Eurasia. According to zooarchaeological evidence, namely bones and teeth, the domestication of these mammals began about 9 to 10,000 years ago, in the territory of modern eastern Turkey. After several thousand years, they were also domesticated in central China. Young boars are easy prey for coyotes and lynx, while juveniles and adults can fall prey to large predators such as bears and cougars. And finally, these animals are susceptible to various contagious diseases, which leads to high mortality. Boars carry several parasites, including trichinosis, toxoplasma, gongelanematosis, lungworms, and mites. Wild boars often have a negative impact on ecosystems, especially if they are introduced species. They can be very destructive to the habitats of other animals in their area. In preparation for childbirth, females use seedlings and other woody plants, which they either break off or completely uproot, which negatively affects the reproduction of trees. Powerful neck muscles and a long muzzle allow wild boars to plow the undergrowth in search of food, contributing to erosion and soil deterioration. Studies have shown that seed survival, as well as plant species diversity, is reduced in areas of land that wild boars have access to. There are 16 subspecies of wild boar grouped into Western, Indian, Eastern and Indonesian groups. Wild boars growl to show aggression and squeal to show excitement or breeding availability. In case of danger, the wild boar accelerates up to 40 km/h, jumps up to 1.5 meters in height and up to 4 meters in length. Without rest, he is able to cover a distance of up to 15 kilometers. The life expectancy of a wild boar in its natural habitat is 9 to 10 years, in zoos, up to 20 years. The fangs of a wild boar are very sharp and powerful, they can grow up to 23 centimeters. The boar, like its descendant, the pig, loves to take mud baths. Completely smeared with mud, he is thus safe from sunburn and insect bites. Wolves attack wild boars in packs. First, the leader knocks the boar to the ground, followed by the whole flock. Lynxes prefer only young animals that have strayed from the herd. Attacking from behind, inflict mortal wounds. Bears can grab prey with their front paws and squeeze them so that the bones break. Then, if the boar is still alive, the bear finishes it off with its claws. In a fight with a bear, the boar has no chance of surviving. In France and Italy, wild boars are trained to look for truffles. These are the most expensive mushrooms in the world. Therefore, the harvest of each year is completely dependent on these animals. A wild boar is a harmless animal if left untouched. He himself tries to avoid meeting people. But if he is wounded or driven into a trap, then he becomes a ferocious and very dangerous beast. The wild boar is one of the most popular hunting animals. To keep their population, they are specially bred in private areas. Even tigers do not always attack adult boars, because they know that they will have to tinker with. On average, there are up to 3 sows per boar. The wild boar, like hedgehogs, is practically immune to snake venom. True, what kind of snake would think of attacking a boar? Getting to the body through the thickets of wool is very problematic. And the boar also has immunity to some poisonous plants. Therefore, he eats everything indiscriminately. The first week the piglets lie in the nest, closely clinging to each other. In the second week, the pig begins to take the piglets out for walks. At the age of up to a crescent, seeing the danger, the boar cubs scatter in different directions and lie down in the grass or stand motionless in the thick of bushes, tall grass, reeds. The striped color makes them invisible. From 2 to 3 weeks, piglets begin to dig the soil, although they feed on mother's milk for 2.5 to 3.5 months. Dear friends, if you liked the video, please like and subscribe. Thank you all.